Come on, I know. I won't fall off of the yasa song. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Ballabha Girivaradari. Oh! Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Wow. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Madhava Shri Radha Madhava Astasaki ki jai. Chaitanya Chandraya Mandir ki jai. Narayanam Namaskrityam Devam Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So then we have Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 48. Krishna pleases his devotees. Okay, Kubja and Akrura. And Akrura's finished offering prayers, and now Sri Krishna, along with Balaram, are making their response. Okay, so text 30, there's no purport, so I'll just chant it here. Nahi mayani tirtani nadeva mrich chila maya te punanti uru kalena durshanad eva sadavaha. No one, Krishna says, can deny that there are holy places with sacred rivers, or that the demigods appear in deity forms made of earth and stone. But these purify the soul only after a long time, whereas saintly persons, like Akrura, you're saying, purify just by being seen. Yeah? Okay. Okay, then today's verse. Sabhavan suhridam vaina. Sabhavan suhrida vaina. Shreyan Shreyas Chikirshaya Jignasartam Pandavanam Gachashva Tvam Gajavayam Boliye. Sabhavan Suhridam Vaina Shreyan Shreyas Chikirshaya Jignasartam Pandavanam Gachasva Tvam Gajavayam. Ladies, chant. Sabhavan Suridavaina Shreyan Shreyas Chikirshaya Jignasartam Pandavanam Gachashva Tvam Gajavyaya. Jnanarstatam Pandavam Gachasvatam Gajashvayam Saha. That person, Bhavan, you, Suhridam, of the well-wishers, Vai, certainly, Naha, our, Krishna and Balaram, Shreyan, the very best, Shreyaha, for their welfare, Chikirshaya, wishing to arrange, Jijnasa, of inquiry, Artam, for the sake, Pandavanam, about the sons of Pandu, Gachashva, please go, Tvam, you, Gaja, Avayam, to Gajavayam, the Hastinapur, the capital of the Kuru dynasty. Sahabhavan Suhridam Vanai Shreyan Shreyas Chikirshaya Jignasartam Pandavanam Gachasva Tvam Gajavayam. Okay. You are, so he's glorifying Kura, all of his good qualities. You are our uncle, you are our guru, you are our best friend, all these things. People just by seeing you become purified. You are indeed the best of our friends. So please go to Hastinapur. And as the well-wisher of the Pandavas, find out how they are doing. Okay? Purport by Hridayananda Maharaj. In Sanskrit, the imperative, you go, may be rendered by gachashva or gacha. In the second of these cases, the word following gacha, namely sva, which is taken in the vocative sense, indicates Krishna addressing our Akrura as our own. This is in reference to Lord Krishna's intimate relationship with his uncle. Okay, in text 33. Pitari uparate balaha samatra sa duhritaha anitha swaparan rajnan vasanti iti shushuma. We have heard that when their father passed away, the young Pandavas were brought with their anguished mother to the capital city by King Dhritarashtra, and that they are now living there. Indeed, weak-minded Dhritarashtra, the son of Ambika, has come under the control of his wicked sons, and therefore that blind king is not treating his brother's sons fairly. Go and see whether Dhritarashtra is acting properly or not. When we find out, we will make the necessary arrangements to help our dear friends. Now, Sukadeva Goswami continued, thus fully instructing Akrura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, then returned to his residence, accompanied by Lord Sankarshan and Uddhava. Thus ends the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 10th canto, 48th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Krishna Pleases His Devotees. Jai. So Prabhupada ki jai. So let's see, this would be Akrurat. Akrurat. No, a name for Krishna would be Hanumatpresaka. We're Hanumatpresaka, so he would be Akrurat. Hanumatpresaka. He who sent Akrura with a message. Preshak means a servant, or especially with a message, messenger like that. So several times, Krishna's sending a bee or coming as a bee or something with a message for Radharani. The gopis, as we understand it, when the beautiful swans were resting in the Jamuna before continuing to Mathura, they told them, now take these messages to Krishna in Mathura. So that's the Hansa Duta, written by Rupa Goswami before he met Lord Chaitanya. And then a Hanuman was sent with a message, and Uddhava was sent with a message. What's that called? The Uddhava Sandesh. I think it's also by Rupa Goswami. And there it says that Lord Krishna was sitting in his beautiful pastime city of Mathura, which was shaded by beautiful trees from the wonderful sun. And then Uddhava came in, and he instructed him then, to go to Vrindavan and represent myself there. Why could Krishna not go to Vrindavan himself? He couldn't go himself because... They wouldn't let him leave. Well, there was a lot of pressure like that too. Devaki and everybody else, after they got him back, she's very attached. Yeah, leaving again. Another reason was, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that if he went there, all these demons who were inimical to him would follow him and cause these problems in Vrindavan. But at Ratha Yatra, he told them, I have one or two more demons to kill. Then after that, I'll come back, so on. So Krishna's always sending messengers, We're all messengers. There's one nice lecture by Prithu Prabhu, in Germany. And he said, we are all Srila Prabhupada's dogs. In Germans like that, Germans in Krishna consciousness. One devotee was Kapila Shva. He was Hansaduda's brahmachari. He came there when he came. Others came to Chakravarti. He was his commander-in-chief. It was interesting meeting them. He said in Germany, everybody had their assigned line for japa. This is your line. And they would march up and down like that. Chant their rounds, like that. And then he said he left and became a devotee and had been away from his family for a long time. So his father was a pretty big contractor in one town, nice sized town, not too big, in Germany. And their house basically was the kitchen living area on the bottom, then his sister and his bedroom on the second floor, and then his parents on the top floor. So he got back in the evening, and his father said, he'd been corresponding and stuff. Oh, so good to see you finally. Where are you? Okay, you've been away for 1 year, 2 years. So he said he got up in the morning, Kapila Shva, and just chanted his rounds like normally, just going back and forth in the room until he finished them. And he came down to breakfast, and his father, he said, son, I don't know what you're doing with this Hare Krishna movement, but at least you're doing it like a German. so somehow or other, I forgot what I was talking about here, messengers, sending messengers. Oh yeah, so Prithu Prabhu was there saying, we are all Srila Prabhupada's dogs. Okay, yes. And where do the dogs belong? In the street, barking. So Germans loved it. Yes, it was a very good lecture. I feel like a dog. Now I will go out and bark for Srila Prabhupada. So different. We're all messengers. That's what we're trying to do. Lord Chaitanya says, Yare deke, tarikaha, Krishna upadesh, amar agnai, guru hai, tare desh. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, in your circle of friends, everybody has a circle of people you come in contact with. Come in contact with a postman, come in contact with people checking at the airport. He says, somehow or other, give them Krishna's instructions from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, understand what you said, and on my order, Amar Agnai, become guru. And Prabhupada says in there, this means Shiksha, Diksha, Vartmana, Pradarshika, Guru, on Lord Chaitanya's order. So very simple. And that way, we can always keep company with Srila Prabhupada, and we can see this movement expanding, in a sense. So it's pretty simple. He's finishing this off now, and he's giving him very proper instructions. When he's sending Uddhava, it's very, very much more detailed. The Uddhava Sandesh, I think Krishna Krata's translation or something. And he gives him all kinds of instructions about how to go there and what you'll see and what you'll meet and stuff. When you get here, you'll encounter this. We'll turn left here and go there. And he's describing the different personalities that Uddhava will find until he finally gets to the gopis and so on. And he said, actually, it's just, I would love to go back, but it's just I can't go back because of these problems, different things. So, but I know they're suffering so much in my separation. He said, actually, the grass in Vrindavan would have burned to death in separation from me, except that it's being kept alive by the tears of the gopis. It's a very unusual place. Lord Chaitanya, he was especially relishing the poetry of Chandidas and Vidyapati, who also were talking in this conjugal fashion. And he was Vidyapati. He says, Vrindavan is a very strange place. It's the evening time, and most people are, finishing their work and washing the dishes and, getting settled down for the night. Children are already sleeping. But some certain gopis are sneaking out of disappearing in the shadows and climbing out the windows and disappearing. And one gopi in particular is running, so to meet her beloved. And it's not a safe time for a young girl to be out. Already the wild animals are making their noise in the forest. And overhead the clouds are threatening to rain, And the brambles on the pathway are actually catching her very new sari. But she's so enthusiastic to go and meet her beloved that she doesn't even notice these things. So Vidyapati says, Vrindavan is a very strange place. Only in Vrindavan does the honey run to catch the bee. Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. So very good messengers. If we get the opportunity, talking about messengers now, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, one time he was sending his sannyasis out to preach. And he said, everybody you meet is going to be better character than you. They're going to be more intelligent than you. They're going to be more qualified than you in every way, every person you meet. So the only thing you have to offer them is the words of your spiritual master. So very, very nice instructions for messengers. Uddhava, who else? What else? Hanuman, the bee. Uddhava, there was a Brahmara Gita. The bee comes with a message. You get the swans. Any more messengers? Of course, the whole story, actually the story was that after Pandava, some people here, in the Mahabharata, he was cursed that ever if he approached his wives for sexual enjoyment, he would die. So one time he was overwhelmed by the younger wife's beauty after seeing her bathe and approached her, and he died, So then that wife took Sati, along with Pandava, and Kunti, stayed alive to protect all the children like that, and so on. So here they are in the forest, and they can't maintain themselves very well there anymore without a man to take care of them like Pandava. So they have to go back to Hastinapur, And she knows politics, Externally, everybody is smiling. Oh, Kunti, so nice of you to come. We understand you're in problems. Of course, you have all shelter here. Don't worry, So she knows that externally everything is going on like this and that, because they can't directly kill the Pandavas. Why not? Just do them in and say something, Because when Pandu was a young man and took over the kingdom, so many other young guys, went out with him and conquered all these belligerent kings and got everything back under control again. So all these guys are dukes, barons, earls, they're all different kingdoms and stuff like that, and so on. And Pandava was their friend, their classmates. So if somebody kills his sons, Dhritarashtra knows there's going to be a whole revolt amongst the nobility. So they have a policy of peaceful annihilation. That's policy of peaceful annihilation. So Kunti is always in anxiety. She describes herself to Akrura as like being a deer surrounded by wolves, or tigers like that. And every moment she's in a very difficult situation. Where's Bhima? What's he eating? Arjuna, you go find Bhima right away. She's trying to take them through all these politics and keep them alive, while simultaneously Dhritarashtra, what does Dhritarashtra mean? What does Dhrita mean? What does Rashtra mean? You speak Hindi, you know that. Huh? Kingdom. And Dhrita means to grab or hold on to, So he had that sentiment, of grabbing and holding on to the kingdom. But he couldn't do it. He had this misfortune. He was born blind. Some places describe that, what was it? It was 99, 100? 100 lifetimes before he'd been a very, very powerful Raja. But then he got this very, very horrible skin disease, which was just basically, rotting his body and itching and burning and everything else, And no doctors could deal with it. So finally one incredible doctor from the Himalayas came and said, well, actually I can cure it, but the medicine is really incredible, and I don't think you'll want to do it. He said, well, what is the medicine? He said, I'll have to use the brains from 100 swans, brains from 100 swans to make the medicine like that. And so, Dhritarashtra is thinking, this is not going to be good karma, murdering 100 swans, But finally, he decides, okay, he's suffering so much, do it, So the guy makes the medicine, and he's cured. Okay, so he takes birth in his next lifetime, deep within his heart, where we carry the memories from previous lifetimes. He knows that something is waiting to catch up with him. So he becomes a yogi and does austerities and penances, and the reaction can't touch him. So he does this for 100 lifetimes. He's able to avoid the reaction and be a yogi in every birth and an austere aesthetic, And then he slips and takes birth as a Raja with all these, susceptibility, and all of his 100 sons get killed, right? He likes them, my sons, right? Gandhari likes them. But they all, one after another, get killed, mostly by Bhima. So he's in a very difficult situation. And of course, it'll describe that when Akrura goes there, he investigates everything, he talks to everybody, sees what's going on, And then he talks to Dhritarashtra. And he's the Senapati from Maharaj Ugrasena. So he's not a lightweight dude. He's a heavy, noble person. And so he can talk to Dhritarashtra just man to man like that, He said, actually, you have no right to be on the throne like that. You should have gone to Yudhishthira and everybody else as the oldest son. But somehow or other you're there, And so you've got to understand that you've got to treat the Pandavas and your sons fairly, equitably, or there's going to be a problem like that, and so on. And so Dhritarashtra says, thank you for your straightforward words, your unsolicited advice. And I know that everything you're saying is true. I know that my sons are adharma, and I know that the son of Devaki is not an ordinary human being. Sometimes Dharma comes down and walks the earth in a human form. So I know it's come down, and the son of Devaki is that Dharma walking the earth in a human form. And I know my sons are adharma, and I know they're heading to their destruction, but I just cannot give up my attachment for them. Right? Jnana and Vijnana. We all have this. We know we shouldn't do something. No more peanuts. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but we're being pushed and stuff. And I remember one time I was a pujari in our little temple in San Francisco on Carl and Cole Street, and somebody noon offering, and somebody made a very beautiful offering, this and that. I was thinking, oh my God, I'll just offer it to Krishna, control my mind. But it's just so. Afterwards, I know I'm going to overeat. I eat too much Mahaprasad. So I was offering it to Krishna and praying everything else, and then afterwards I separated it very nicely. And then Prabhupada says, if you want to eat a lot, eat one thing. If you want to eat a little bit of a variety of things. So I did that and prayed and controlled. Yeah, but I ate too much, right? And my body suffered from indigestion, but I didn't suffer. I noticed it was very clear. My body was suffering, but I was not identifying with it. Hey, you idiot! Did you learn something? You're gonna avoid this the next time around. So yeah, Krishna protects us. He knows we're trying our best. And when we're trying our best, it's a whole different thing, right? Then Krishna will protect us from these reactions, which are going to happen. They're going to happen. That Dhruva was forced to enjoy in his penances and austerity. He was forced to enjoy, material enjoyment. Yeah? So we're being forced to enjoy different things like that. Yeah? Sometimes we'll have inauspicious dreams. You'll dream of having sex with your mother. Oh my God! Yeah. Yeah. The Prabhupada said this is because we have this karma that's going on, and we have to get rid of it. So rather than having us take birth as a buffalo so you can have sex with your mother, then Krishna allows us to experience it in dreams. And then we can have our reaction, if we like it or not like it or whatever, and so on. So Prabhupada says when you become a devotee, don't be surprised that there's inauspicious dreams and things like this happening. Because now you're starting to shake everything up, right? And then the dust is coming out and so on. We're shaking it. Yeah. So Dhritarashtra was a very typical example of this karma and everything else. In the Peter Brook movie, which I'm always quoting, pretty good. Dhritarashtra is seeing all this. He's seeing the destruction, and he says, "Krishna, I tried my best." And Krishna says, "So did I." So did I. So we got a lot of people running around here with free will, who are not like stupid idiots. Karna, was Karna a good guy or a bad guy? Yeah, he was a very good guy, but maybe he wasn't completely. Yeah. Didn't want to break his promise where he should have broke. Many people in this thing, they chose dharma, which in a gratifying sense rather than choosing Krishna. Bhishma said, I shouldn't have supported Dhritarashtra in this destructive end, but I didn't want to break my promise, in a strict sense. And Karna, the same thing. So many things. The most generous person who ever lived, and so on. So Mahabharata is for very elevated people who still have a little bit of connection, right? A little bit of problems. And Akrura, later on, we'll see, he takes part in this whole assassination plot to get the jewel and kills Krishna's father-in-law, right? Because of his reactions with offenses to the Brajbasis. So very, very subtle activities here. Any comments? Anybody else have a question about messengers? Yes, sir. Yeah, somebody? Yeah. You want the microphone? That was supposed to, our online audience is supposed to hear. How does this work? Yeah. Say goodbye to your speakers. Yeah. He's got the volume down now. Yeah. Okay, got another one here. Haribo. Haribo.
Yeah, turn that one off. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, you said Dhritarashtra was something, the name Dhritarashtra is.
Means to grab the kingdom. It's pious, impious, I don't know exactly. So
We see this in Srimad Bhagavatam.
well, who gave Krishna his name? Yeah. And who gave Balaram his name? Yeah. And he saw the future. So he gave them names which related to their character and the activities like that. Because of astrology, he could see these things. So he could see this person is Dhritarashtra. He's attached to the kingdom. The personal name? Well, again, some people were Shaivites, some people were impersonalists, you know. So different people had different levels of consciousness. Not everybody was what do you call it? Like, you know, high class Vaishnava personality. Yeah, yeah. Different kinds of people. What was Shishupal's father named? Shishupal's father was named Dhamaghosh, right? Yeah, Dhamaghosh. He who suppresses the people, controls the people. Yeah, that was his nature. Huh? Kurus? Well, not who? Domya? Well, Vyasa was coming and going. Yeah, yeah. Domya was the guru for the Pandavas, like that. Yeah. And probably for the Pandavas, he was the Kula guru. So he made. I think he was appointed family priest for the Kula guru for all the Kurus. And it says that because of his qualifications. But specifically, it says he was, for the Pandavas. And Prabhupada says such a family guru is as good as the spiritual master, like that. Yeah. And Vyasa was coming and going. He was like, rishi. He wasn't the Kula guru and probably didn't pick the names and do the astrology and that kind of thing. Yeah. When Satyavati called him to become the father, he showed up in his tapasya form with maggots in his hair and hadn't brushed his teeth for 5 months and like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he was Dhritarashtra. They saw that, so they named him that. What was Bhishma, right? His terrible vow. Yeah. And Duryodhana. Yeah, he was a heavy fighter. They different names too. Yeah. Okay. Any other? I mean, he's tough fighter. Durya, tough, and Yodhana, tough fighter. Yeah. Okay. So something here is interesting. It was interesting for me. It's talking about what's going on here in verse number 31. Was it? 31. Radhe. It was talking about Akura's qualifications. Okay, one last point here. And it said, yeah. nahi amma mayani. No one can deny that there are holy places with sacred rivers, or that the demigods appear in deity forms made of earth and stone. But these purify the soul only after a long time, whereas the saintly persons purify just by seeing. This reminds us right away, right? Of one song by Narottam? Yeah. Ebaro Karuna Koro. Okay. And this is song by some Vaishnava Vignapati by Narottam Das Thakur. Ebaro Karuna Koro Vaishnava Gosai. Ebaro Karuna Koro Vaishnava Gosai. Patita Pavana Toma Bine Keho Nai. Patina Pavana Toma Bine Keho Nai. Jahara Nikate Gele Papa Dure Jai. Harani Kate Gele Pape Dure Jai. Emona Doyala Prabhu Keba Kota Pai. Na Doyala Prabhu Keba Kota Pai. Gangara Parase Hoile Paschate Pavan. Gara Parasa Hoile Paschate Pavan. Darshane Pavitra Koro Etomaragon. Hane Pavitra Koro Etomaragon. Haristane Aparade Tari Harinam. Stane Aparade Tari Harinam. Tomastane Aparade Nahi Paritran. So very nice song, nice to memorize. Yeah. O Vaishnava Goswami, please be merciful to me now. There is no one except you who can purify the fallen souls. Where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sins go far away? After bathing in the waters of the sacred Ganges many times, one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense at the feet of Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance. Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. I desire the dust of your holy feet in every birth I may take. Please consider Narottam yours and be kind to him. Very nice prayer. Nice song. Yeah. So many times Prabhupada, the same thing. People would just see him and have this incredible experience. I'm trying to think of some different. I think I mentioned the bikers in Los Angeles, right? Remember that? The temple was on, 3764 Watsika Avenue, or whatever it is. And then the devotees in the morning, like now, after the morning program, before the Sunday feast started, they were just walking around, nice sunshine morning, around the block and circumambulating the deities like that. So in the back side of the block was this old beat-up house that some biker guys were renting, and they were selling good guns and illegal guns and drinking and everything else and carrying on. So anyway, the devotees, maybe like 8, 12 devotees, were walking around with Prabhupada, and most of them were all slipping off their Saturday night enjoyment. But one guy was sitting out on the porch like that, maybe drinking a can of beer, big guy, scar on his face, like that stuff. And there were beer cans in the front yard. So when he would go by, he would like tease the devotees. He'd say, "Hey, where'd you get that pretty little purse? You always wear pink." So the devotees would pretend they didn't hear it. So this happened 2 times, and the third time he did it, Prabhupada just walked right across the lawn toward this guy who was standing, and Prabhupada was like maybe this tall. This guy was there, And the devotees were afraid, like, what's going to happen? They didn't follow exactly. It's like when Krishna went into the underground kingdom of Jambavan, all the Dwarkavasis, Mathuravasis stayed aside. So watching, the Prabhupada went right up to this guy and said, "You do not like holy names?" And the guy said, "Oh, it's okay, it's all right." Prabhupada said, okay. They went on. They came back around. The guy was inside the house. So just by seeing Srila Prabhupada, he died. Wow. Different times, Prabhupada's darshan. So many people had the experience. I had a mystical experience when I was seeing Prabhupada twice actually. Okay. I was coming to the temple in San Francisco. I was working at Master Charge or something like that, and just trying to work out the whole thing. And it was right after Rath Yatra, the day after Rath Yatra, and Prabhupada was sitting on the Vyasasan looking at the deities, Radha Gokulananda, Jagannath, and Gauranitai. And I was sitting there, and this, Bhakta Huber. So I looked up, and when Prabhupada was lecturing, I looked up at Gauranitai, and their entire bodies were conscious. It's just if your wallet falls out and I pick it up, and you come back and you say, "Anybody see my wallet?" And I go, "Oh, no, I didn't see it." They don't want to make eye contact, right? Because I know that make eye contact, okay. So Gauranitai, their entire bodies were like that, just like conscious. And I wasn't planning it, I guess. I guess he wanted to hear Prabhupada's lectures like that, so on. Okay. That's one mystical experience I had. Another one, I was wondering how prasadam is transcendental. As an uninitiated living in Sacramento. So somehow or other I was able to go to Los Angeles, and there was Prabhupada giving a lecture, and I was looking at him, and I could see how the modes of nature were coming right to him and going around like that, Like I find a big diamond, oh my God, I'm running home, I'm rich, my family will be rich, and I stumble and drop it in this fast moving, clear stream, the water splashing. You can't see it, right? It's just, it disappears in that splashing water. But you can feel it, Okay. So the same way I could see that Prabhupada was just, look like anybody else, but the Paramatma, I guess, was revealing to me, that, it's just, so when Prabhupada would scratch his nose, I scratch my nose because it itches. I have to do it. But Prabhupada was like, somebody said, if you notice whenever Prabhupada talks about the material scientist, so many times he'll go like this, like some bad smell, So whatever, Prabhupada was just living there in this transcendental world. They asked Prabhupada, when you touch a doorknob, does it become spiritual, right? And Prabhupada said, as long as I am touching it. There's a certain connection around Prabhupada where things were spiritual by his influence, by the desire of Krishna. If Krishna didn't desire it, okay, like that. What 3 things does Krishna, what three pieces of paraphernalia of the spiritual master does Krishna maintain transcendental always, unlike doorknobs? There are 3 things that relate to the spiritual master. Huh? Prasadam, that's not one of the 3 in the list. Yeah. Shoes, his bed, and his sitting place. Yeah, those 3 things shouldn't be used by anybody else, because Krishna maintains those 3 as spiritual. It's interesting. Yeah. So they're worshipable. Aradhananam sarve sam Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samacharam. Okay. Yeah. of all worshipable things, the most worshipable is Vishnu. Shiva tells Devi. But even more worshipable than Vishnu is devotees of Vishnu. Describing here. Yeah. So Krishna does so many things. Hansaduta told us that Prabhupada said the spiritual master just does ordinary things. He gives Bhagavad Gita lectures. But through him, Krishna does so many things. Yeah, yeah. And through devotees too. We're all becoming representatives of the spiritual master. We're all becoming gurus. You know? We can all become Vartmana Pradarshika Guru. This is somebody who gives you the pathway. You just tell somebody, look, I haven't got free from all the problems myself. I'm still a little attached to marijuana and this kind of stuff. But I know these Hare Krishnas are really good people and you should go there. Yeah? Okay. You become Vartmana Pradarshika Guru. Pat Pradarshika Guru. You just showed the person to how to get connected to a formal guru, Diksha Guru, and get matriculated. You should go to that school. It's a good school. Yeah. So this is what he's saying, that devotees are not ordinary. Prabhupada also says that a devotee, if he's following the four principles, chanting good rounds, then he will have a very, very nice effulgence and a very, very attractive smile. And you should use these things in your preaching. When you go preaching, you should release your effulgence and smile. One devotee, Markandeya Das, he was from Czechoslovakia. He was a book distributor. And he said many times when you go out preaching, you deal with people, you give them, say, okay, take the book, And then you said you have to show the iron smile. You'd like to buy this book for $25, right? Okay. you put the, so you like to eat worms, right? It's very powerful. Technique is a sales technique. Put the question so the answer is naturally positive. You just shake your head up and down, and this takes 3 days. Don't say anything. It's very, very powerful techniques and so on. But with the devotee, it's coming from purification of the self. The different techniques are there, but we're becoming purified. And then, we are. Bible says the same thing. We are. This is our presence. You become purified in the mercy of Krishna. The preaching formula is we have to be pure, which means get up early in the morning, chanting, everything else, following principles. And then Krishna is supposed to send innocent people. He directs them, right? And then they're supposed to be patient to listen to our explanation, which of what is the material nature, because who can be perfect, presenting everything perfectly? Okay, so we have to be pure. Krishna sends innocent people, and we should expect that they're going to be a little bit, patient to understand everything. That's the formula. Yeah, it's not so much what you know; it's who you are. I make this point in the school, right? If you hate mathematics and you teach mathematics, and students learn to hate mathematics. Yeah. But on the other hand, if you like Upadeshamrita, we're talking about introducing Upadeshamrita for the 9-year-olds and going on like that. I think it's a great project. I think it's wonderful. All the kids develop a taste for the Upadeshamrita and the background, and carrying it with them and distributing it. It's a very nice book. In London, the devotees hired a public relations agency to give them advice about how to preach. They said, well, give us all your literature. And they said, of all the books you have, the one which makes the best explanation of your culture is Upadeshamrita. It's Nectar of Instruction. Everything's right there and stuff. It's the same way, too. We're talking about this, and different levels, people respond to different things. Of course, for most children, the biggest form of education is example. Right? You can tell them something and so on. But the main thing is example. So if you want to introduce Upadeshamrita in the classroom, the Goswami Academy, then you have to, appreciate the book yourself. So we can have teacher training classes about why this is a good book and everything else, And then print it, bigger copies, and, memorize all the verses. Garuda Das, Professor Graham Schweig, one of the senior professor of Sanskrit language in America, probably in the top 20 or something of all professors now. When he has a course at Newport News University on Sanskrit. Okay, Sanskrit poetics. Yeah, Sanskrit poetics, and it's always over enrolled. So for the first like 4 sessions, he always makes it extremely boring, like that. And after 4 sessions, non-determined guys back out, and he's got his class down to proper size, like that. So he says, Upadeshamrita, the Sanskrit is not a lightweight thing. She says, you notice the verses keep getting longer. There's several meters in there. So simply as a work of poetry and chanting it and singing it and stuff like that. What if we can making dramas out of it? You know, you got the 6 pushes. You can make like that. Dressing up as, I am anger, like that. I am the tongue. Okay, yeah. So whatever, how to portray the whole thing like that. You know? It's very powerful. You know? And then following the references and stuff, you know, make it a very, very nice, heartfelt thing. Our thing is, this is the International Society for. And what is the Hindi term? How do you say International Society for Krishna Consciousness in Hindi? Yeah. Antarashtrika Shri Krishna Bhavanamrita Sangha. So what is the word for consciousness there? Bhavanamrita. Yeah, Bhavanamrita. So very specifically. And then it's that Sanskrit word, of course, you can relate to to the whole thing of bhava, in the nectar of devotion, everything else like that. So that's our whole point. We're not trying to give people information, jnana. We're trying to give them an attitude or a perspective. Right? That's the thing. It's your attitude towards stuff. On that basis, you think, whatever your attitude is. You know, like that. There's one lady. She was a brigadier general in the U.S. Army. Big black girl. There's no guy in this room that want to mess with this woman. When she was a young teenager, she used to load 100-pound sacks of stuff. You know, that was her job and stuff. Okay, so anyway, she's brigadier general in the U.S. Army. Her philosophy was that just because you're occupying space in this world, you have a debt to other people. Or to speak of anything else, just because you're taking up space, you have a debt to others. So she would go around with that attitude towards people of I owe you. You can imagine how people liked her. You know, you come in, I owe you, like that. That was her bhava. That was her attitude. That was her perspective, her buddhi. You know? On the basis of that, you think, okay, I have some obligation to you, like that. You're carrying these grocery bags. Hey, let me carry one of those for you. It's too much. You know, no, let me do it. Yeah. Buddhi, manas, and then the senses, like that, and so on. So that's a devotee. That's a krura. He's a devotee. And wherever he's going, he has this attitude, this consciousness, this Krishna consciousness. You know? Let me engage everybody in Krishna's service. Everybody wants to serve, right? That's what we want to do. Even the dog wants to be a servant, do something, and so on. So if we engage people naturally in serving Krishna, they're happy, right? They like it, And even though it may be very indirect, that's the whole point. If we become Krishna conscious, then we can see people. This guy's on the level of pantheism. This guy's on the level of mysticism. This guy's on the level of, of monotheism. Signora, ¿quién es el más gran monoteísta en el mundo? You don't know? Hanuman. Monoteísta? You can only get the joke in Spanish. The word for monkey in Spanish is mono. So the greatest monotheist is Hanuman. I made that joke up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, talking about monotheists, Hanuman. Yeah. One time we had a temple in San Jose, California, before it moved to where it is. And it was kind of like a little higher class area. Not real high class, but like, I would say, upper middle class area with bigger houses. And the Hare Krishnas, all their brahmacharis and stuff, moved into a house there. The neighbors were thinking, oh my God, these people are coming in and they're going to drive down the property values and stuff. And so people were a little bit like irritated we were there and stuff, So, but that was the house. And then maybe that was like maybe 5 blocks from the temple. Okay. So I was walking back from the temple one like January, February, California. And, it was like some sunshine was out, but it was still like, wintertime. There's one old guy out there raking his leaves, and just spontaneously I said, how did I say? I said, Hare Krishna. And he said, nah. What else did I say? Came a couple things after, one after another. Oh yeah. I said, it's a nice day, the sun's shining after some time. And he said, well, okay. Then I said, spring is just around the corner. And he laughed and said, well, it's a little bit longer till spring, lad. Like that. So among luminaries I am, light of the sun. I didn't think about this after I noticed it, Yeah, okay, so he was thinking about the sun, and he was like, came a little bit softer. And among seasons I am, spring. And then he just softened right up, and these Hare Krishnas are okay, yeah. That's Shanta Ras, appreciating the sunshine, appreciating the springtime, right? And people feel happy with us and stuff. I mean, how much does it cost to buy a house on the California seacoast? Yeah, yeah. What's there? Among purifiers, I am the wind. Among bodies of water, I am the ocean. I am the sun. People playing volleyball, everything else. Is this there? Krishna's there, and you appreciate it, and you feel good, contributing something. So everybody, as a devotee, people want to help you. People want to, serve you. You just got to make yourself accessible in a certain way. They can do it. Gopravinda Paul, right? A big book distributor. And we had a big button which said, "Ask me about Krishna." I don't know what that button was. Ask me about Krishna. And he said it was quite a few people would. Okay. It says in your button, okay, like that and so on. I go out dressed like this, and so many people, some people are repulsed, and and say something bad, They're very rare. And some people also will give you $100. I think it's happened 3 times in my life. That people have given me $100 like that, And the people will ask you, like, most common question is, are you a Buddhist? And more people would approach me when I haven't got a shirt on. I just have like a cheddar or something. More people will approach me then when I have a shirt on. It's very interesting. Yeah. So you got to create an ambience, right? If you're a lady, you can go out in the sari. That's kind of like, for a Western girl, it's kind of maybe tough. I don't know how it is. But then, people approach you. Make yourself approachable. Think how you can do that. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you become aggressive, not just approachable, but finding ways to go out and meet people. Every salesman has his own technique. Every salesman has his own technique, Prabhupada says. So you got to develop your way of preaching. I was reading today in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. All the devotees are coming. Maharaj Prataparudra is seeing them, and Sarvabhauma, Gopinath Acharya is describing them all. And he says you should understand. For me, this is very important. You're always learning something. Because the thing is, Nitya Siddha is only distinct from the spiritual world. And we'll know that anybody who becomes purified becomes Nitya Siddha. So this purport, Prabhupada, is very clear. Anybody who's fully engaged in devotional service is Nitya Siddha. There are some people were Nitya Bada and became Nitya Siddha, and some people descend and never touch the material energy. So Prabhupada says Nitya Siddha means anybody who's fully engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord. And he said that's every devotee, somehow or other, by your character or somehow or other, according to your ability and nature. It's very nice for me. Because everybody has different nature, different abilities, Some people by nature, Buddhimanta was a salesman. He distributed more books than... He was the first person to distribute 100 big books in one day. He would go out in the parking lots in Los Angeles with the sun beating down there with hundreds of cars. And his Sankirtan diet was 1 tub of sour cream and 1 jar of peanut butter. And that was his Sankirtan diet. And he was fired up, right? He was a Kshatriya. Live fast, die young, and have a good-looking corpse. That's Kshatriya motto. He died at 35 of brain cancer. Okay. But he probably distributed more books than... inspired more people than everybody in this room 10 times over. He's so passionate. When he came to San Francisco, Hansaduta brought him there. After the morning program, he would have his Sankirtan thing to the devotees, and you got to go out. And he would break one drum a week. That would beat on him so hard. We had to replace the heads like that, you know. So I would go back into the treasury room, which was like, you know, where the office is over here, that far away, with 3 walls in between, and cover my ears. I still could hear his fanatical, passionate rave like that and stuff. So anyway, that was his nature. Live fast, die young, and have a good-looking corpse, you know. There you go. So anyway, he came back to Prabhupada's room, and the secretary said, I got to see Prabhupada. Well, if Prabhupada doesn't want to see anybody. No, I got to see him, you know. Shishivananda Madhava ki jai. Yeah. So he jumped right over the secretary's desk and pushed past him to go right into Prabhupada's room. And Prabhupada looked up and said, well, what is it? What do you want? And he said, Prabhupada, I just distributed 100 of your big books today. And he said, Prabhupada was just shocked, and he looked for some gift, and there was no gift. So Prabhupada took his shirt off his back and said, thank you, and gave him his shirt. Okay. So, and when you saw, anybody who saw Buddhimanta, automatically you would say, my God. It's like, let me get it. Huh? Yeah, exactly. One time, Vrindavan Das, they were going to go to New Vrindavan to see Prabhupada for the festival, had a convertible. Vrindavan, they stopped at this stoplight, and Buddhimanta hadn't distributed a book for like, you know, for half an hour or something, 1 hour. He just couldn't resist himself. So he just grabbed the book and just jumped and climbed over this wall. It was like a 6-foot wall there. He just climbed over the wall, and all this light turns green, all the cars start honking, and Vrindavan pulls over and waves him past. And Buddhimanta's hand comes back over. And he comes back over and puts some money in his pocket and goes off. It was an old people's retirement home. So here this guy is dropping out of the sky, and this lady's in her wheelchair with her nurse, and, you know, and he says, you got to get this book, everything else. Thank you, like that, and so on. Okay, but different people have different nature and different ability. Yeah, but that's what it means, you know, become purified, and then discover what your talents are. If you're a good artist, yeah, what's his name? Clint Eastwood said, I don't talk much, but when I talk, my pistol speaks for me. So if you're an artist, I don't talk much, but when I talk, my pencil speaks for me. Sankirtan Yagna ki jai. Sunday Love Feast ki jai. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.